the Ukrainian newsreel and documentary film studios. Kiev is the capital of the Soviet Ukraine. Kiev is the cradle of Russia's baptization. The film deals with the history, present-day life, and peacemaking mission of the monasteries of the Russian Orthodox Church in the Ukraine. It is about freedom of worship and religion guaranteed by the Constitution, and about how the monasteries serve God and the homeland on the threshold of the millennium of the baptization of Russia. Metropolitan Filaret of Kiev and Galicia, Patriarchal Exarch of all Ukraine.
Монашество является неотъемлемой частью
Monasticism is an inseparable part of Orthodoxy. In the Russian Orthodox Church, monasticism appeared soon after the baptization of Russia in the 11th century.
Его родоначальником был преподобный
It was founded by Saint Anthony of Pechora, who established the first monastery in Russia in the caves of Kiev.
Сущность монашеской жизни
In essence, the life of a monk is to fully serve God and one's neighbor, to pray and to work. Monks always have served and today continue to serve their homeland and to work for peace.
ныне служат своему отечеству и миру. Сейчас вы
Now you will
увидите
see certain aspects of monastic life in monasteries in the Ukraine.
жизни в монастырях на Украине.
Monasteries of the Russian Orthodox Church in the Ukraine. St. Pochayev Convent. Unity of prayers with day-to-day work is an age-old tradition here. Pochayev Church. Here lies the foundress of St. Pochayev Convent, Nun Anastasia. All the grandeur of Pochayev Church is the creativity of thousands of folk craftsmen. Just like this house of worship, St. Nicholas Cathedral is a well-known architectural monument.
Спаси раба Твоего, Боже мой, уповающего на Тя, помилуй меня, Господи, яко к Тебе воззову весь день, возвесели душу раба Твоего, яко к Тебе взял душу мою.
Flora Convent in Kiev. First mention of it in writings dates back to the middle of the 16th century. It became especially famous in the 18th, 19th centuries. Its architecture is a combination of Ukrainian Baroque and Classicism. The murals and wood carvings of the Church of Ascension is the heritage of talented folk masters.
Христу, хранителя мой святый, и покровитель
Nuns praying in private. And today, too, these convents of 1,500-year-old Kiev sacredly carry on the traditions of monastic work. This is how each morning begins at the Holy Trinity Convent, an old cloister in Korets of the Rovno area. The fire is lit from the sacred icon lamp. It is then carried to the Prospera room and the kitchen. The other icon lamps are lit from this flame. By their work and prayers, the nuns fully dedicate themselves to God and love of neighbor. The supreme form of monastic service of God is the schema. These are the oldest nuns that have taken the vows of schema at the Holy Trinity Convent in Korets. Among monastic obedience at this cloister, ancient folk crafts carried down through the ages and inherited from our ancestors occupy a special place. Here, the nuns are decorating Easter eggs in traditional style of West Ukrainian masters. Bright as stars, pure as flowers, blessed as a mother's kiss. And marvelous needlework with golden threads, icons and vestments. Of the Holy Trinity Convent in Korets stands out as an example of monasticism. An immemorial Orthodox holy place in southern Russian lands is the world-famous Pochayev Lavra, in honor of the passing of the Holy Virgin, Mother of God. In a slow rhythm, the terraces rise from the foot of the hill, and the ensemble is crowned with 7 houses of worship, monuments of architecture and history. The Cathedral of the passing of the Holy Virgin, Mother of God, the Cathedral in the name of the life-giving Trinity, the Church of Glorification of the Holy Virgin, Mother of God, the Refectory Church in the name of the great martyr, Saint Varvara, the Kiev Monastery, Saint Job, the Church of Saints Anthony and Theodosia, the Church of Nativity of the Holy Virgin, Mother of God. Monks from Kiev, ruined by Bati, appeared on Pochayev Hill in the middle of the 13th century. Here they brought blessings from the founders of Russian monasticism, Saints Anthony and Theodosia of Pechora. For centuries, the Pochayev monastery withstood all barbarians, conquerors, uniats, and the brutal and forcible Catholicization of the Orthodox population. The cave monastery of St. Job is a monument of history, architecture, and spiritual exploits of the monks. The name of St. Job, Father Superior and miracle worker of Pochayev, will forever remain in the annals of the cloister. It was here, as a 100-year-old monk, that he completed his earthly life. He withdrew into this cave for long days of prayers. For many years, he was Father Superior of the monastery. An ascetic, preacher, and writer, St. Job left behind a lofty example of serving God and gave his sacred talent to the spiritual upbringing of the Orthodox people. The Pochayev icon of the Mother of God and the relics of St. Job are the greatest objects of worship at the Pochayev Lavra. According to legend, a miracle took place here. The Mother of God appeared and left her footstep on the stone. That is why, early in the morning, in the Cathedral of the Passing of the Holy Virgin Mother of God, the monks come to this holy icon case to drink water from the healing footstep of the Mother of God. This is an age-old sacred tradition practiced by the monks at the Lavra. A large amount of restoration work was carried out here in recent decades with the assistance of the state. The grandeur of the cathedral is under constant protection and reverential concern for posterity. To serve God, the homeland, the Orthodox people in prayer and obedience by all the monks is the inviolable statutory tradition of the monastic brotherhood at the Pochayev Lavra. An especially majestic festival comes to Pochayev Hill every year on August the 5th, the celebration of the Pochayev icon of the Mother of God. Present for the festive divine service were Metropolitan Filaret of Kiev and Odessa, the Patriarchal Exarch of all Ukraine, and many archpastors and pastors. The many centuries old Pochayev Lavra is welcoming the millennium of Russia's baptization in the spiritual purity of orthodoxy, with love for the homeland and for the sacred gift of life, peace on earth. This is Transcarpathia. Many centuries ago, on the bank of the mountainous river Lataritsa, Prince Fyodor Koryatovich had a vision. In approximately 1360, the prince ordered a wooden church to be built at this site. And it is already in our times that the St. Nicholas Convent was founded here. Prayers, obedience, divine services in this cloister are practiced according to statutory monastic traditions of the Russian Orthodox Church.
Божия, слава Тебе, едино трипостасно начало, Серафиме немощно славить безначальное, пресносущное, творительное всех непостижимое.
Введи в мою церковь человека Божия, достойного Царства Небесного. Молитва его восходит к Богу, как кадило благовонное, и Дух Святый почивает на нем, подобно венцу на главе царской. После видения Пономарь искал...
This is the refectory of the St. Nicholas Convent.
Соединившая и отринувшаяся естество рода нашего небесного совокупившая, я же не надежных единой надежды и боримых помощи.
The nuns of the convent, believers from nearby and distant mountain settlements, come to this solemn festival, the bearing out of the shroud and the procession around the church. style of monastic life, from morning prayers and other forms of obedience to evening unification with God in prayer, is for the sake of happiness and peace on earth. When, in 1994, the hero city Odessa will be celebrating its 200th anniversary, the Holy Assumption Monastery in Odessa will be 170 years old. All houses of worship of the Russian Orthodox Church are protected by law and the state. The architectural ensemble of the monastery is crowned with the Cathedral of Assumption. The Father Superior of the monastery, Archimandrite Vadim. Our Holy Assumption Monastery dates back to the year 1824. It is a great honor for the monastery that the patriarchal residence is on its territory. Every year, His Holiness, the Patriarch of Moscow and all Russia, Pimen, comes here, and his brothers meet him with love. It is the duty of our monastery, the most important one, to pray for the sake of peace on earth. The main aim of monasticism is to save souls.
Святый Божий, святый крепкий, ты бессмертный, помилуй нас. Святый Божий, святый крепкий, ты бессмертный, помилуй нас. Святый Божий, святый крепкий, ты бессмертный, помилуй нас. Слава Отцу и Сыну и Святому Духу, и ныне и присно и во веки веков. Аминь.
Together with prayer, the monks of the Holy Assumption Monastery perform various kinds of obedience with diligence and with thoughts of God. The monasteries of the Russian Orthodox Church are engaged in broad ecumenical activity. Theological meetings, discussions, and conferences are held in the Ukraine. Numerous church delegations from foreign countries visit the monasteries every year. In the Holy Assumption Monastery of Odessa, Metropolitan Sergei of Odessa and Kherson, the Holy Archimandrite of the Holy Assumption Monastery of Odessa, is receiving a foreign delegation, representatives of different faiths. The international ties of the Russian Orthodox Church are expanding and serve to develop ecumenical relations, to preserve and consolidate peace on earth. At the monastery, there is the Odessa Theological College, and one of the forms of obedience practiced by the monks of the monastery is their pedagogical and educational work in the college.
Господи Иисусе, Христе Боже наш, благословивый 5 хлебов и 5000 насытивый, сам благослови и хлебы сия, пшеницу, вино и елей.
The historic 1,000-year road of all the monasteries of the Russian Orthodox Church, their fidelity to orthodoxy from the cradle of baptism, their loyalty to the homeland, ecumenical and peacemaking work, lie in the sacred and inviolable serving of God, people, and peace throughout the world. Script, Vladimir Gnatenko and Alexander Kosinov. Direction, Alexander Kosinov. Photography, Igor Pisanko. Commissioned by the Ukrainian Exarchate of the Russian Orthodox Church.